Oh my God, I think I see something. Is that it? Oh my God. It's the infamous... I can't believe I found it.
Hey tricksters, it's Patrick here. It's summertime in the Northern Hemisphere, which means cruisers are heading outdoors to get their freak on. In this video, we're gonna look at how to prepare for an outdoor cruise, what to pack, how to find the right spot, and how to approach 4 different types of outdoor cruisers. And stay till the end of the video because I'm gonna be sharing with you my top secret weapon that's going to change your outdoor cruising experience for the better. To have a successful outdoor cruising experience, like anything in life, it's all about the foundation. You need to build a solid foundation before it starts so that everything falls into place beautifully. Number one, and most simply, and maybe most obviously, but it might not be something that you think to do, you're thinking with that head and not this head, is to just check the weather. You don't want to get all the way out there and then suddenly the clouds roll in and it starts raining on your parade, because outdoor cruising in the rain does not work. Okay, the next thing you're gonna wanna do is shower and douche. Now, I don't know, some people like, body odors and stuff like that, so the showering, I guess, could be optional. If you like that sort of experience and you think that your manly smell is something that people are gonna wanna smell and is gonna attract people, then whatever, don't shower. But if you are planning on bottoming, obviously, there's nothing you can do when you're out in the wild to prepare yourself then. There probably won't be a douching station in the middle of the bushes. You need to come fully prepared. The other thing you're gonna wanna do is apply sunscreen. The sun, I don't know if it's the same wherever you are, the sun these days, I swear to God, we have no ozone layer. Sun feels like it's just burning my face off. It's probably the same where you are. Global warming is a thing. Put sunscreen on, put it on your face, put it on your body. Other thing you're gonna wanna apply, of course, is bug spray, because there are bugs. And it depends on the bushes, where the bushes are. There's very popular bushes here in Toronto that are by the lake. So when you're by the lake, there's a lot of humidity, which means a lot of mosquitoes and a lot of bugs, and not sexy to be covered in welts. Okay, now that you have prepared your body, now we can prepare the soul. I want you to sit in a lotus position. Put your hands like, I'm totally kidding. You don't prepare the soul. If your soul isn't already prepared to cruise the bushes, there's nothing you can do in the first 5 minutes before leaving the house. But what you do need to do is pack a little bag. Regardless of what you like to do in the bushes, you're always gonna have to bring some stuff. Now that stuff could include things like condoms, lube, cock rings, poppers, jock straps. I don't know what your deal is, but you need to bring those things to give yourself a good experience. So maybe you need to bring a wet wipes. You definitely need to bring a small garbage bag because you don't want to rely on other people to, well, A, pick up your shit, because that's not cool. That's disgusting. Always, always, always clean up after yourself. Always. Bring what you need. Do not rely on other people to have things to make your experience better. And now we can finally head out into the bushes. Remember, this is not a petting zoo. This is not for the faint of heart. This is a wild safari with apex predators that are there to hunt or be hunted. But all of them are looking for their next meal. And speaking of meals, I never go hungry thanks to the generosity of my patrons. Patrons of my channel get perks like advanced access to episodes, behind the scenes content, personalized videos, and direct access to moi. To become a patron or see other ways that you can support my channel, including OnlyFans, go to patrickmarano.com. Okay, let's grab our stuff and head on out. Cruising bushes can really be found anywhere. It really depends on your city. Sometimes it's close to a public beach. Sometimes it's close to a public park. Sometimes it's close to bike trails. Usually it's somewhere a little bit woody, a little bit secluded. It's always off the beaten trail, but it is somewhere where people sort of congregate, where there's like groups of people that show up there for whatever reason. What you're looking for oftentimes are trails. So this is a lot like cruising in the woods. You're looking for little trails. The big trails are gonna lead to littler trails, are gonna lead to littler trails, which are gonna lead to littler trails. Once you find those trails, you can start walking them. The further you go into the woods, you start taking these offshoot trails, And the more secluded you feel, the more you feel like you could actually stumble across a dead body somewhere. That's when you're really starting to get close to your final destination, because you want to be out of the way. You don't want other people around. You don't need like a troop of grannies that are out on a power walk to suddenly stumble across you in a jockstrap. You're also looking for litter. Now, you know how I feel about litter. It makes me really upset, but people do litter. So if you see shit on the ground, I mean, not actually shit, although...
Oh my God, I think I see something. Is that it? Oh my God. It's the infamous... I can't believe I found it.
Another good sign, of course, is makeshift shelters and benches. A lot of times there's like a little bench or a little seat or a little, place where people can sit or lie down and just make themselves more comfortable. Give them a piece of wood and they'll make a sex bench out of it. If you see something like that, where it's obviously a place where somebody can sit and, give a blowy or bend over or hike your foot up and stuff, you'll see these like man-made makeshift items in the woods, and then obviously you're in the right spot. Maybe it's already occupied and you're gonna have to take a number, like you're at the deli. Another good thing, and I wanna thank specifically a comment that I got on my other video, Cruising in the Woods, where somebody said, hey, Patrick, you didn't say anything about poison ivy, which is absolutely the case. You need to be looking out for poison ivy. This is what it looks like. Okay, now that we know the signs of what to look for when you're in the bushes to see, hey, is this a popular cruising spot? Let's talk about how to spot a cruiser. Generally speaking, this is gonna be super obvious because gays we have our own language. We know how to communicate with just like a flick of an eye. Of course, eye contact is the biggest one. You would never be walking through the woods by yourself, making direct eye contact with complete strangers unless you wanted to get stuffed. Now, if you're walking around and you see somebody else who's like sort of shiftless and wandering, not necessarily in circles, but obviously doing laps. And they just feel aimless, like they don't have a destination. Of course, if they don't have to be wandering around, maybe they plunked themselves in a high traffic area where people are always passing. That way you don't have to tire yourself out with all the walking and you can save your energy for the real stuff. Finally, the last kind of person that we have is the guy that is being super obvious. I have come across people where it's like, I'm walking down and then I turn the corner and then poof, it's right in your face and you're like, whoo! I've seen like a makeshift sling set up. I've seen a guy completely nude. So we've spotted a cruiser, but there are different types of cruisers and there's different ways in which you can approach them to have a successful cruise. Okay, so first of all, you've got the guy that's just browsing. Now this guy that's window shopping, he's really just scoping out the place. He's getting the lay of the land. He's seeing who's out there, what's available, what goes on. It's kind of like a reconnaissance mission. Like he's kind of sending himself as an emissary to scope the land and scope the people. Do not take it personally if the window shopping guy is not paying attention to you. They're there for their own reasons. Maybe in the future they'll feel more comfortable doing it, but for right now, just leave them alone. Let them do their thing. Okay, another type of guy that you're gonna run into is the shy guy. So he's a bit like the window shopping guy, but he's a little more along his journey. He's a little further along in his journey in that he does want to hook up with you, but he's nervous because you're outside. He'll make eye contact with you and then, you'll try to make that connection and try to make it happen. The ball is really in his court to really seal the deal with you. So you can try with the shy guy for a little bit, but you know what I mean? After a certain while, if it's not happening, it's not happening. You just got to move on. And then we've got the forward guy. This guy is like a pro. He knows the lay of the land. He's used to this sort of thing. He's prepped properly. He's brought all the things that he needs to bring. He knows what he wants. And when he sees you, he makes the connection and he's going to make it obvious that he's into you. And he knows the spots to take you to so you can seal the deal. Finally, we have the over-the-top guy where he's just finds a clearing, sets up camp, strips completely naked. He's kind of like a spider laying a trap for his flies. A lot of people find that kind of person a little bit difficult to approach because it's such a scene and it's so out there and it's so in your face. He has just made a little sexual bushland playground to play in. Obviously, he's comfortable with it, and if you are, then absolutely go for it. Okay, if you are still watching, then you deserve my top secret tip that will make any cruising situation, including cruising the bushes, a successful one. And what that tip is this. Ready? Use the apps. Now, I know what you're gonna say. You're gonna say, Patrick, you hate the apps. You don't like being on apps. You don't like talking to people on apps. You think it's a waste of time. You'd rather be out in the field. Yes, all of that is true. However, there are apps that are specifically designed for cruising. One of those apps is Squirt. Now, if you go to Squirt, there is a cruising section in the Squirt app that specifically talks about, because it's geolocation. So it talks about cruising locations that are close to you, and it lists them by like geolocation. You can click on that location and then you can see people chatting back and forth. Hey, I'm gonna be there in 20 minutes. What's the deal with this place? Is it still open? Other one you can use, and I've talked about this before because I've done a video right here on it, is Sniffies. Sniffies is designed completely for cruising. In fact, it's a map. It shows you on the map. It shows all the other Sniffies people that are using Sniffies at that time on the map. And it shows you different locations of cruising, whether it's like bathrooms or woods or bushes or beaches. You can go to the location and then you can see, are there any Sniffies guys at this location? So I know for a lot of you, maybe you don't have very cruisy bushes right next to your house. You need to travel a bit of a distance. So using the apps, at least you can set up or get an idea of these places. Are they popular? What times they're popular? What type of person is going there? And you can even reach out to somebody and be like, hey, let's meet at this location at this time. And that way you don't have to waste too much time and it's not a wasted trip for you. And for more outdoor cruising fun, watch this video right here. And I will see you in the next video. Mwah!